Welcome back, programmers. Guillaume here. In this new episode of the PureBasic 101 series, I will continue talking about the text editor of PureBasic, but this time I will focus on code edition, text edition really. So the standard edition shortcuts or features and the special edition features. You'll see there's a lot to cover. Let's start. Standard edition. Like any other text editor, if you type text, okay, if you hit the keys of your keyboard, you will enter text. Yes, I know that sounds stupid, but you know, that's how it works. It enters text just where your cursor is. See, my cursor is right here. If I hit F, it will enter an F. But you have to know that you can use the insert key. So on your keyboard, you should have an insert. On my keyboard, it's written insert. Maybe it's something else different on your keyboard, but you can look for it. Hit the insert key. And look, the cursor just changed. It's a blinking underscore. Let me hit the insert key again. Now it's the vertical. You know that you're going to insert text before this pound sign. I'm tapping use here. But if I hit insert, what it does is it will replace the text. See? Once again, if I have the blinking underscore and I want to type, if I want to replace board by beard, I'm in here, I navigate with the arrows, I go here, I hit insert and then put an E and then insert again, and I have a beard instead of a board. It replaces the text as you type instead of inserting the text as you type. Same thing here, insert, I put back the O, see? And back to insertion. So the insert key can be useful in some cases if you don't want to delete text and then type the text again, you can just overwrite it. The tab key. You know the tab key? It's the key where the tab keyword is written, or you have this double arrow with the vertical lines. If you have no text selected and you hit the tab key, it will insert spaces. Why is that? It's because, look, I'm hitting tab. I have in fact two spaces inserted. If you do that in a word processor like Word, it will insert a real tabulation, okay? A space that is long, but only one character, which is a tabulation. But when you are typing code, you don't want to have tabulation. You just want to have spaces. And by the way, let me show you, you can actually, in the preferences, you can change that. Editor, you see, where is it? Tab length, you can select the length, the number of spaces, okay? Or you can even use the real tab character. Let's have a look. What I want to show you is I want to display, where is it? Indentation. Show indentation guides, show whitespace character. We'll get back to that. So, go back to the editor. Here my tab length is 2. Let's have a look. If I hit tab, I'm not sure you're seeing that, but I have 2 dots that are the actual 2 spaces that have been inserted. Now, if I go back to File Preferences and I say, oh no, I want my tab length to be 8 spaces. What, are you nuts? Yes, I am. I want 8 spaces. Okay, let's have a look. Tab key. Boom, I have 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 spaces inserted. And each time I type the tab key, I will have 8 spaces. The vertical lines, dotted lines right here, I don't know if you can see them, but they're the actual indentation markers, that meaning every 8 spaces, every tab, you have these indentation guides. Okay? Now let's have a look. Preferences, let's say I'm going to back to 2 but I will use the real tab character now. Really? Yeah, really. Look, if I hit the tab key, this insert this arrow, which means this is only one character, which is the tab. And it's not the same at all that inserting spaces, because depending on the software you're using to display the tab, you can choose the length of the tab, and depending on the length of the tab, it will not correctly indent your code. So I advise you to keep with spaces, but you can put as many as you want. It's up to you. I think 2 is correct. So I will continue using 2, but that's for the tab key. Okay, easy one, the delete key, you know. Sometimes it's suppress, sup, or delete. If you hit, it's a forward deletion. So if let me go here, if I hit the delete key, it will delete the character on the right. On the right, on the right. Again, it deletes forward, it deletes, okay. Let me Control Z, but if I hit backspace, which is on my keyboard written with a back, but some of the keyboards have an arrow that goes, a fat arrow, okay, that goes on the left. It's at the above the return key approximately. It's a large key. If you hit the backspace, it removes, it deletes backwards, okay. It will delete on the left. Here the D, the R, the A, the O, okay, it deletes on the left. You can use those keys with the control modifier. If I do Control Delete, it will delete the whole word. So here, if I do Control Delete, it will delete the width, then the equals, then the 66. Okay, the whole word each time, forward deletion. Oops, same thing for the backspace. You can go this way, but Control backspace. In my case, I have deleted the whole constant. Let me try another with several words here. Black, semicolon, number, equals, and the whole constant. See, backspace, Control backspace will delete word by word backwards on the left. And of course, you have the usual CTRL+C, CTRL+X, and CTRL+V available here. CTRL+X, CTRL+C, CTRL+V. And I have some, that's the standard. I'm still talking about the standard edition. So let me select text. CTRL+C will copy the text. CTRL+V will paste the text wherever your cursor is. Be careful. If you select text, you do Ctrl+C and you select Ctrl+V here, it will replace the selection. I have, yes, Ctrl+V, it just replaces with what you have copied. If you have copied the same, of course, it will do nothing. That's an interesting thing I have not talked about. If you select some text using the selection features that I've shown in the previous video, and you type text, it completely replaces the selected text. See? Once again, I'm setting this and I'm typing hello. It has removed the selected text and replaced it with what I am typing. Very important, because as I said, if you do that, you select 3 lines, you hit Ctrl+C and then you hit Ctrl+V, it will replace whatever is selected. So here I'm going to select this and hit Ctrl+V. It will paste whatever I have copied and replace whatever is selected with what I've copied. Okay. Ctrl+X, cut. You're selecting text and you do Ctrl+X. It will remove the text and then you can paste it somewhere else. Here, for example, okay? So cut and paste. You can copy and paste, cut and paste. I'm using the Windows shortcuts, by the way, because I'm on Windows, but it works with the Command C, Command V, Command X on Mac, or I think Control C as well, Control C, V and X on Linux. It's really universal copy, cut, paste shortcuts. It works in every software. You can even copy and paste from another software because it's using the clipboard, what we call the clipboard. It's something that is on the system. So in Windows you have a clipboard. When you do Control C, it will put the text in this clipboard, and so you can paste it to another application or the same application like I did, but you can work between applications. That's very useful. Nothing new here. Last shortcut, I've used it a lot. If you want to say, oh no, what was there? You want to undo what you have done. You have this button here, you have the edit undo and the famous Control Z. I say famous because I'm using it a lot, a lot. Control Z, it's for undo. It works in most of the softwares. Oh no, I didn't want to delete this. Control Z. Okay. Oh no, Control Z. That works. Oh, I moved something, or I renamed something. Control Z. And sometimes it works with very complex tasks, very complex actions. You want, let's say, to replace, find and replace all the words with another word, and you realize that it's not the correct one. You do Control Z and it might work to undo your replacement at once. It's a lifesaver. Control Z, I'm telling you, it's a lifesaver. I'm using it all the time. And with the Control C, you have the Control Y. It's redo, but you can only redo an action that you have undone with the Control Z. This will undo the undo, basically. Now, the special edition feature. Okay, special edition. First, you can see that you have code indentation, okay? You see here, the code is automatically indented. If I were to type procedure, see the indentation is automatic, whatever, debug, hello, okay, and procedure, this automatically indents the end procedures with the procedure and the block within it, just like that. Very nice. Automatic indentation. And for that you can configure this automatic indentation in the preferences. You have here indentation, and you can decide not to indent, block mode. It can be keyword sensitive, and here are all the keywords and what the indentation engine is doing with all these keywords, automatically inserting, going indenting or removing indentation for each keyword. And you can add your own. It's very practical. Here I decided to check those two boxes to show the indentation guides and the white space characters. That's why I have the dots for the white spaces and these vertical lines for the indentation guides. So remember the tab key? Okay, I'm going to use it again, but now when I select text. If you have text selected and you hit the tab key, you would think that it would replace the selected text with a tab, just as it would normally do. But no, what it does, it works like an indentation action. So tab will indent right, the whole selection. Okay, tab, 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 and shift tab will go in the other direction. So you can increase indentation by using tab and decrease indentation by using shift tab. If you have, let's say, half this selected, if you hit tab, this will change the selection to the whole lines and work the same. So tab and shift tab. You can use a nice shortcut to format the indentation automatically. So let's say I have removed the whole indentation here. So Let's say something is indented like that, and I hit the Shift tab. It will not remove anything, it will just, see, remove the whole indentation line by line. So look, this macro is not readable at all. I don't know what's happening. Indentation is so useful to improve readability, legibility. So you can select whatever you want to indent correctly, automatically, and then hit the Ctrl+I. Boom! The whole text, the whole code is indented correctly according to the rules that you have set in the preferences. Edit, Ctrl+I, it's here, Ctrl+I. Oh yes, Ctrl+B, Ctrl+Shift+B. Of course, Ctrl+B, you will insert comments, meaning it will insert a semicolon at the beginning of the line to make the whole selection a comment. If you have like this, half the lines selected, it will still work, selecting the whole lines and then putting the comment. If you want to remove the comment, Ctrl+Shift+B. You know that already, I'm using it a lot. Ctrl+Shift+B, and the comment is removed. Okay, something else that you can use if you have some text. Let's say I will copy some text from my text editor that I have right here, and I want to paste it, but I don't want to paste it as code. I want to paste it as a comment because I have pasted text that is not pure basic code. You can hit Ctrl+Shift+V, and this will insert whatever you want to paste. This will paste as a comment. Ctrl+Shift+V, and you see that the text that I have selected in my text editor on the right has become a comment. If I were to do just Ctrl+V, doesn't make any sense. But Ctrl+Shift+V, insert comments. That can be very useful in some cases. And you have it already here, paste as comments. What else? Ctrl+D, D for duplicate. If you want to duplicate a line, you can do Ctrl+D. This will duplicate a line. If you want to duplicate just some selected text, here I want to have my variable called point. I don't know. Ctrl+D, and this will duplicate. If you want to duplicate, so yes, if you have nothing selected, it will duplicate the line. If you have some text selected, it will just duplicate whatever is selected. For example, if you select, so if you select two lines like this, okay, half the line, I don't know, something like this, Ctrl+D, this will make no sense, of course. But this just duplicates whatever is selected. If nothing is selected, it duplicates the current line. Also, Ctrl+Shift up and down. This will move the code. So if nothing is selected, you do Ctrl+Shift up or Ctrl+Shift down. Look, well, actually this selects the line, current line, and you can move the line, just this line, anywhere you want, just by doing Ctrl+Shift up or Ctrl+Shift down. The line itself, it's just like you were doing a Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V every time, Ctrl+X, Ctrl+V, but pasting it wherever you want. So that can be useful to move code around. And that works with several lines selected. If I were to select 3 lines here and do Ctrl+Shift down, this will move my 3 lines at once, up and down. And that can be very useful if you want to move a whole function or procedure or macro here. Well, you can do that, see? Of course, you can Ctrl+X, Ctrl+V, but this is another way of doing it pretty fast. Ctrl+Shift up, Ctrl+Shift down. And finally, something a little bit strange, but let me find some code where I can, here, look. You know, sometimes I put comment at the end of the line and I want all the comments to be aligned. Well, you can do that using a shortcut, yes. You can select this and use the Ctrl+E or Ctrl+Shift+E. So Control E will align all the commands and move them on the right. Look, Control E, 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 E. Control Shift E goes back in the other direction. Move the commands back. And if you reach one of the line, if you reach the end, it will not move this command. It will keep it at the end of the line, but the other, they will continue moving left. Look at that. And you stop when everything is really at the end of each line. Once again, Control E. Very nice. Control Shift E in the other direction. Okay, Control E, Control Shift E to align the comments, but that works only for comments that are at the end of a line of code. If I were to use it here, well, that works as well, but that works exactly as the Tab or Shift Tab. Here I'm typing Tab, Shift Tab, Control E, Control Shift E. That does exactly the same. And voila, that is it for the text editor, or at least for the standard and special edition feature of the text editor. You can see that it's very complete, but in the next episode I will talk about even more features of this text editor, and you'll see there's still a lot to talk about. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. I will see you very soon.